What is up, guys? I'm Derby Dallas, and my guest today is none other than old Redbeard himself, Payton Mitchell. Payton, thanks for being on, man.
I appreciate it. Welcome to the shop, dude.
How you been?
I'm great. I'm tired of being cold, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
It's chilly. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can see our breath.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Payton? Where'd you grow up?
Originally from Balk, Oklahoma.
Is that where you grew up?
That's where I grew up. I lived in the same house until I went to college.
Now,
20 plus years.
when did you move to Perryton?
2009, I believe. 2008 or 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what got you into Derby?
Really, wow. I went to my first Derby, I'm going to guess. I was probably 10 years old, 10 to 11 years old. 11 years old. And the Aylers invited us, which they're connected with Jerry Merrick.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're really close. They're all family stuff. So they invited me and my mom to the Derby. And we went to the Derby, and I was just memorized with the action and the crushing and just the destruction. And was hooked ever since.
So you remember watching your first one and everything?
Yeah. That was actually the last time I sat in the stands.
How old were you when you finally got to drive?
I found my first car, probably 13 and a half, almost 14 years old. Built my first car at 14 and brought it to town, pulled it to town with a hay wagon, actually, with a hay truck, with the bales and the hay forks.
The one you always post, the orange one?
Well, no, I picked up the front end of the car with the hay forks on the feed truck and pulled it right down the highway. I didn't know how I was going to get home or nothing, so I just hooked it up and pulled it down the highway, brought it to town.
What car was it?
It was a 73 Buick Electra.
Those are pretty good from what I hear. I've never ran a Buick.
Yep, it was, I mean, for what I knew, it was junk, but it was $50 and it ran. I had the 455 in it and it ran.
Do you remember what you were feeling before your first show?
Yeah, I was nervous, dude. I was super nervous because you're around all these people that have been doing it for all these years, and you're just a newbie on the block per se. And I remember I had to go to the bathroom like 3 to 4 times, and I was still nervous. And when I pulled up in the arena, I remember exactly who I was sitting next to. I had who I had on each side of me.
Who'd you have?
Larry Green was on the left, and Billy and I was on the right, and I was right in the middle of them.
Man, with those two guys.
I was nervous. Oh my gosh, they looked at me, and I looked back at them. I was like, "What am I getting myself into?"
Now it's like when I've done it a little bit too now. So when I pull out there, that's one of my favorite things, just like looking around, because it's a surreal feeling because then you feel like all eyes are on you. Like you feel like you're at the center of everything, and it's just a cool feeling getting to see who's next to you and who you're running against. You know what I mean?
And then you kind of get to pick where you want to go. If you have somebody out there you don't really like and you know they're coming after you, you kind of want to put somebody or several people in between you and them, or it depends on how you play it out,
What drives you to continue to Derby all these years? Because you're how old now? And
I'm 35.
And you started when you were 14.
I ran my first car when I was 14. My mother had to sign the paperwork to release me to be able to run.
So what makes you want to continue to do it, man? That's 20 years worth of...
That's 21 years, actually, roughly.
Dang.
It's addicting, dude. I don't know. If you could put the passion that most drivers have into this sport into something and sell it, oh, you'd be a millionaire. It's just, I can't go to a town, anywhere I go, I can't go to a town without looking for cars. I'm always eyeballing streets.
I'm the same way.
It never stops. I mean, it's a powerful addiction. It's a hobby. It's a love. You got to have a passion for it.
Yeah, Matt.
If you don't have a passion for it, you're just a one and done.
Yeah, Madison always gets on to me because I always swerve all over the road driving through towns because I'll be like looking down roads. She's like, "What the heck are you looking for?" I'm like, "Cars."
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you never know. There could be Vics. There could be all sorts of stuff in this town. You just got to keep your eyes open.
I found a lot of stuff by accident.
Well, you and Jeremy are two of the guys that have taught me, because we're all in a group chat, and you guys are always like, just keep your eyes peeled, just keep your eyes peeled.
Do your homework, dude.
And when you actually start looking for it, you begin to find it.
It's like, I've had people ask me to tell them where cars at. No, I'm not going to tell you where cars are at. You go out there and do your homework. You've noticed that, haven't you?
Yeah.
I've said, go out there and knock on them doors, dude. I mean.
I found one the other day, and the lady was like, they instantly knew what I was asking about it for, so I guess somebody had already asked, and they said, yeah, I guess it's real good for them demolition derbies, and I don't want it to go for that. I was like, oh, snap. I don't want to tell him, because I might come back and try to buy it, you know what I mean?
And don't wear a Derby t-shirt for sure. I've went and asked about cars, and I got a Derby t-shirt on. I've got to know just based on what I'm wearing.
You gotta pull your hair back, especially if they're an old couple. You gotta pull your hair back and look official.
Right.
So what did you build most recently?
A 73 Chevy Impala wagon.
And
my first wagon to ever find. It's a second to find. I found another one, sorry.
Well, tell us about the first one then.
Oh my gosh. The first one, I was in junior high, and I remember exactly where it's at. I found it, I was just out cruising the back roads, and I came across it. And it was the first wagon I ever seen out in the wild, per se. I think it was a 72, 73, something, Chevrolet wagon. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I went and talked to the people about it, and I told them I was interested in it and stuff, and they were willing to sell it,
Yeah.
I think they wanted $150 for it.
That's not bad at all for a wagon.
No. And I was like, okay, well, I got the money. Well, I didn't pay for it at the time, but I went home and told my dad. And my parents were completely against derbying because it takes up so much time, and they'd rather me be doing farm stuff, and And I told my dad, hey, I found this wagon. You think we could go get it? And he beat it around the bush, and well, needless to say, we never went to get it. And Larry Green ended up with it, and he ran it.
Dang, that's a tough feeling.
Yeah, it's all right though, because I went back and it was gone. I'm like, man. And this is later in the years after I knew people, and I got talking to people, and Larry told me, yeah, I got it.
Well, what's your second one? You said it was
a 73 Impala wagon, yeah.
And what do you got in that thing, engine trans-wise?
That one right there. There's nothing in it at the moment.
Well, what is it?
That's a 358 small block.
And what's awesome about that engine? What makes you want to run that thing?
It was free.
There you go.
I had a good buddy that I worked out a deal with, and I got it from him, and he didn't really know what he missed out on, because he didn't know what it was to start with. Neither did I. And I pulled it out of the pickup and pulled it in here and took it apart and seen some stuff stamped on it, and I was like, "Yeah, got a deal."
There you go.
And I told him about it, and he wasn't happy about it. But
what were you running trans-wise? And I want to get this. I want people to know that what some of us use in our cars, because it surprises a lot of people when I tell them what you had in your car.
Well, most people, run a turbo 400 or a turbo 350 if that's all they got. But like the ideal automatic transmission's a 400.
Yeah.
You need to be beefed up and all that stuff. But I actually prefer not to run an automatic, because I've ran them several times, and you burn them up, and then you got a transmission cooler in the way, and then that transmission cooler is drawing your batteries down, running the fan. So I run a 5-speed NV 3500.
Really?
Don't have a trans cooler, and
so it's
and I drive truck every day, so I'm used to slamming gears, and I just love the feeling of slamming gears.
So in your opinion, is it better to have a manual?
Yeah, it's to each his own,
Yeah.
I mean, they'll break. They're going to break.
Yeah.
Every transmission's going to break. They're aluminum. So I've actually got another one I'm going to try to run also. That's an SM465.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a Chevrolet 3-speed, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Cast housing.
Is it difficult driving with 3 pedals out there? Like getting hit,
No,
Not at all?
Nope.
Do you ever stall out or anything?
I actually watched a video the other day. I sent it to the group message, actually, and I killed that thing 3 times.
That's not bad.
In 20 some odd minutes. And it fired right back up, but
yeah,
that's pretty good for my first time ever run one.
Is your wagon in its own body class, or is it part of the Old Iron class? Or I know it's not a Vic, but we'll get to that here in a second. But what kind of body class is your wagon? Is it an Old Iron? Is it?
Well, yeah, it's a. Some people call them clamshell. Some people call them snappers. Some people call them roundbacks. It depends on what part of the country you're from, actually.
So what is it mostly called in?
Roundbacks here.
Roundbacks.
Yeah.
Listeners that have watched the show before, they've heard me and Jeremy and Colby talk about Old Irons and Vics. Could you help explain what we mean? Like, what is an Old Iron for somebody that's never been a part of Derby or knows cars? Or
well, an Old Iron, it has bumper shocks on it. The early Old Iron was C-channel, and then like your Chryslers are Y-framers, and then some of them were bumper shocks also. Like this Chrysler New Yorker behind us, it has bumper shocks on it.
So what's a Y-framer then?
They're junk. It's just got a frame that's straight and it splits to a Y, and then it mounts the bumper to the Y per se. That's why they call it a Y-framer.
So what makes them junk?
They're two pieces of C-channel split in half right up there by the bumper. In my opinion, I mean, I think they're junk. I had one and I didn't run it just because I knew it was going to be junk. It was a 73 Fury.
Really?
I mean, they probably had their day somewhere, but I think they're junk.
Well, Austin had that Chrysler 300.
Yeah, and he plated it too.
Yeah, that's true.
I wasn't allowed to plate.
Really?
If you can plate that Y, you're better off, obviously.
Yeah.
But if not, it's going to fold.
Yeah. So when we say Vicks, we're talking about Ford.
Ford, yep.
What?
They quit production in 2000. What year did they quit production?
You're asking the wrong guy.
It was 2011, 12 or 13. I think they quit producing the Crown Victoria.
Really?
And it's probably the most popular Derby car to date as of now. Besides, because Old Iron's hard to find. You're not going to find it. And if you find it, you better keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Because someone will cut you out on it.
Well, with it being like this New Yorker behind us, it's an Old Iron, you said. And
Unibody.
A unibody?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not full frame.
I didn't know that.
The frame ends right there between the doors.
So it's like the Cordova me and Colby were talking about.
It's the same thing. Same. I mean, and then people call it a unibody, and some people call it a K-member.
Yeah. Well, that's what Colby was talking about too last week. I don't know if you listened in or not.
I actually did.
But still, though, it's a nice looking car. Not many people are willing to get rid of those things, you know, especially when they know what we plan on doing with them.
Yeah.
But I think that's what a car would want, you know. If it doesn't want to sit out in the field and just rust away, I think it wants one last shebang. You know what I mean?
That's what blows my mind. I've knocked on people's doors, you know, and the car's been sitting in their house for years. And they tell me they're going to restore it and fix it up.
No, you're not.
Get out of here. It's rusted out. You're going to restore my rear, you know. And they won't sell it to you because they know it's going to get derby. Well, who cares?
Yeah, it's at least getting back out there, you know.
As long as you're getting the money that you ask for and I'm getting a car I'm happy with, let's do a sale.
I hear you. And this frame behind us, too, it is a, they probably can't see it, but there is a full car frame behind this rear end.
It's a full frame. It's a 98 Vic.
And you're running
P71.
A P71?
Yes, sir.
And what is that exactly?
Well, I'm kind of new to Vic, so it's got some extra gusseting in it. So.
But what is a P71? What makes
that would make it a cop frame?
A cop frame?
Yeah.
And
it was a police officer's vehicle.
Like a police cruiser?
Yeah, this one had bullet holes in the door.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah.
Did you find any casings in it?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nothing interesting in the back seat. I was pretty disappointed.
Dang. But you're building this for next year?
This year, 2021.
This year.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's right.
It's my team car. I'm gonna run on the team with a buddy of mine up in Oakley. In Oakley, Kansas.
You pretty excited about that? You ever been a part of a team show before?
Oh, no. I'm pretty excited. I'm further along on my car than he is on his.
Who are you running with?
John McElroy.
Okay. I've been trying to get Michael on the show for a little bit, but he's had some hiccups and I haven't really gotten a chance to talk to John.
Working.
Yeah. But so you and John are going to go up there?
Yep. Me and John, and then Michael, his brother, is going to be on a team with Jeremy Lossy.
That'll be a fun show to watch, I bet.
I've never been on a team. I don't think John's never been on a team either, you know.
Yeah.
We'll have some fun.
It'll be, hopefully I can make it up there to watch, because I hear Oakley's a good show to go to.
It's a good time. We went to Oakley last year, and it's probably the best. I'm not going to say the Derby was the best I've ever been to, but just the
energy?
Yeah, the energy there, because they were having a fair, you know. And
it
was a 2-day deal. Stayed the night and had some interesting times at the hotel.
So we'll move on from cars. We'll come back to Oakley and stuff like that here in a little bit, and I'm gonna go into pickups. Have you ever driven a pickup before in a Derby?
Yes, sir, I did.
What kind of pickup was it?
A 68 Dodge D100.
What
they call a sweep line, actually.
What made you want to run a truck?
Just something different. You know, I was kind of out of cars building at the time. I just wanted something different, and I found it and bought it and started stripping, and like it could have been a driver.
Really?
But once you start stripping, I mean that goes out the window quick.
Yeah, because we're not all trying to save the interior there.
Yeah.
It's if you got a torch, cut it out if you want to.
You know, even though you know people pay for it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to ship it. It's trash.
What sucks is when you get an interior or whatever pulled out and you get it thrown away or whatever, and then you get online on Facebook and you see people looking for it and what they're willing to pay, and you're like, Dang it.
Yeah, but then you got to ship it. Like the last wagon I pulled home, I had people wanting to buy the interior.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not shipping. That was my finger.
Okay, it like spiked on here, so I was like, what the heck was that? What was it like running a truck? Was it
rough?
Rough?
Dude, that's rough riding. It's like riding a diving board across the dirt road.
Really?
Tree County dirt road. Because they are horrible.
For people that don't know, Tree County roads are pretty bad.
And that's the county we live in.
Yeah.
And they are junk. It's like riding a diving board underneath a leaf spring.
That's bad, man.
Yeah.
Would you do it again, though?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Even though it's rough, I would do it again. I liked it. I put a lot of time into it.
Are they as heavy hitting as Jeremy said they were?
Oh, yeah. You feel it because there's so much more mass. There's a lot more weight.
Yeah.
And you sit up higher. You know, you sit up higher, you're going to feel it a heck of a lot more.
Yeah. That's true. Shoot. Lost my place.
That's cool, dude.
What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions about Derby and Derby drivers themselves? Like with just the general public.
They're trashy people.
You think so?
No, I don't think they are.
No,
I think that's one of the most major. Is people just stereotyping.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be trashy people in everything you do.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily mean trashy people. I just mean like
rednecks.
Well, no, because I'm a redneck and I don't consider myself trashy.
That's fair.
But people who, I'm not going to give up a whole bunch of examples, but I think that's the biggest thing about people say about them.
Yeah. But it's really like there's so many types of people in Derby.
God. I know a lot of people.
You could have a guy that spends all his money on his car and he lives in a trailer house, you know, or you could have a banker that has a big old house in the suburbs or whatever, and he's building a car just like the same one in the trailer park. You know what I mean?
Nothing against trailer parks.
Yeah, that's yeah.
We love trailer park boys.
But yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's sad that we get a rep like that, you know.
You're gonna get a rep no matter what you do, but what's the problem is if you let that rep control you, let it bug you, you know, just go out there and prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.
What's funny is the people that say things like that.
They're hypocrites. They're
the ones up in the stands watching it every year.
Yeah, they're out there cheering you on, you know?
They're like, I know that guy. And it's like, dude,
that's
a week
my neighbor.
ago you
He keeps me up all night. Out there air hammering. I had my neighbor throwing a fit about it.
Really?
Because I would, my wagon, I don't know if you've seen it, but I creased because it's my first vehicle to ever crease, and I went above and beyond in creasing it.
What is creasing?
Say that's a piece of metal, and you air hammer it, which is an air hammer that just repetitively applies hammer marks, and it just draws it to a point, and it draws that metal to a point and strengthens it.
What does that do to a car?
Oh, it makes them hella stout.
Really?
Yeah, in my opinion, you know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You're good, dude.
Your neighbor was yelling at you
about it?
Oh, yeah,
dude, because I'm respectful. I'm going to work on my Derby car throughout the week, but I'm going to save the loud stuff for the weekends, you know.
Yeah.
And it'd be 9:30, 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday night, and he'd be out there throwing a fit. Go to bed, dude, or go in the house, turn your TV up.
You said on 9 o'clock on a Saturday night?
Yeah, dude, he's tripping.
The noise stuff isn't even
right.
Like it's until midnight.
Well, yeah, but he'll get over it. He'll hear it again this year.
What are some things you look for in a fresh car that you're wanting to build? Like if you go out and, like you said, the wagon in the field, what are some key points you would look on that?
Well, the biggest thing on a wagon is the rust, you know, and mine had some rust.
Yeah.
There's a couple spots on the Old Iron. There's several spots that rust.
Rust is bad?
Rust is bad. We're lucky to be blessed with almost minimum rust.
And then on, like, say, a Crown Vic, one thing you'd look for is to see if it's a P71.
Yeah, yeah.
But from what I've kind of figured about Vics is that even if it's not a P71,
you're going to trash it anyway.
Yeah, you'll still get a pretty decent car out of it, though, too.
Yeah, if it's cheap, and I've heard people say P71s are better, and I've heard people say they're not, but it's just preference, I guess. It's going to smash it all. That's all that matters to me.
Do you build every car you find, even if it's in good condition?
Oh yeah.
You build every single one?
Well, no, not every single one. Because I got this New Yorker, and then I got my favorite car.
Which is?
The '74 Buick Electra.
Well, tell us about it.
Oh, I found this car in probably 2011 or 12. And it was in this area. I'm not going to give an exact location because I don't spread that information because there's possibly other cars in the same town.
Yeah.
I found this car. I was driving a semi, working in an oil field, going to drilling rigs, you know. And I was bobtail, which means you don't have a semi-trailer on behind you, so you're just bobtail. And I was just cruising these streets in my semi bobtail, just driving around looking for junk iron cars. And I came across this Buick Electra 74, and I knew what it was. I was really surprised it was there because they're very sought after per se.
Yeah.
And I went up there and knocked on the old boy's door. No one answered. I was pretty heartbroken.
Yeah, that's a tough feeling.
And then I heard some noise in the garage. So there was one of them trashy people we were talking about in the garage. He was drunk on something. He wasn't normal. And I asked him about it. He said, yeah, it's my father-in-law's or something, you know. I was like, well, can I get his name and number? He said, yeah. I got the information from the guy and called the guy, and he said, yeah, it's for sale. He wanted $1,000 for it.
That's not bad.
No. At the time, I didn't have $1,000 though.
Yeah.
And I was just gotten married, you know, and life, and you don't have money. So I told him, yeah, I'll take it. And I talked him down to $500.
Really?
The same day. So okay, well, I'll be back. Well, I didn't get to go back.
Why not?
I think I spent the money on a water heater or something, you know, because it's life, dude, you know.
Things come up.
Oh yeah, things came up a lot. So I didn't have the money, and I had to spend it, and then I had the money again, and then I had to spend it, and then I had the money again. So I called the old man back, and this is over a 10-year period almost, because I got the car in 2020, and I found it in 2010, 2011, roughly. And I called this guy up, and I was like, hey, you still got the Buick for sale? He said, yeah. I said, you want to sell it? No, my grandson wants to drive it to high school. He wants it for his first car. The feeling that I had in my stomach knowing that some kid is going to be driving a car that I wanted for over 10 years.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening?
We were headed to Blizzard Bash in 2011. Sorry, I won't hit that down.
No, you're fine.
We were headed to Blizzard Bash in
11.
No,
or no, sorry.
Not 11, 18, 19, whatever.
Gotcha.
You know, we were headed up there, and the guy called me on the way to Topeka to the Blizzard Bash, which is the biggest derby in the States. And he's like, I still got this Buick. Are you interested? Yeah, I'm interested. So I told him, hey, I'm on my way up here on a vacation. You know, I'm not going to be in town for a week. But when I get home, I'll be there with a trailer and cash. Well, we went to Topeka and went to the derby, and the day after we got home, loaded the trailer up, went to the ATM and bought that baby.
There you go. And you did what? You LS swapped it, right?
Yes, sir.
And that is a Chevrolet engine that...
Modern equivalent to a 350, 327.
Yeah.
Roughly. I'm not a...
And you've actually drove that thing up there to the Blizzard Bash.
We drove it to Blizzard Bash.
How was the drive?
Better than riding in something new.
Yeah, I hear they just did so much better with the interiors and stuff back then.
Oh yeah, they float. You get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
And you ain't making payments on it.
There you go.
And nobody wants to get by you because they're like, I'm not getting next to that guy driving that junker.
Yeah, they don't even know what's underneath the hood.
No, I love it.
Heck yeah. What are some lessons that Derby has taught you that you've been able to apply in your everyday life?
Friendships. To me, I love the Derby. I love to just build a car and stuff, but I would say that the friendships are more important to me than wrecking a car.
Yeah. And you've made a lot of friends.
I have met a lot of people. I've met people from Canada, California, Florida, Pennsylvania. I mean, from coast to coast pretty much, and border to border.
Really? That's insane.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Is it all at Blizzard Bash or just...
Oh, yeah, the majority of it. I went to Blizzard Bash 5 or 6 years in a row now.
Are you going this year?
Oh, of course. I spend my stinking vacation on it every year.
I bet Marcy just loves it.
She actually went last year for the first time. She loved it. We drove to Buick up there, and she already told me to get hotel rooms reserved.
I'm hoping that I can make it up there this year, kind of film this a couple times or something, you know.
It's a good time.
But I've never been, so I don't know how busy of a week it is, but I'm probably pretty busy.
Yep, you better take your walking shoes because there's lots of walking.
But that's crazy that you've had friends all over the country that you've met in that one spot.
On all walks of life, dude.
That's insane.
I know I've got one friend, I'm not going to give any names, but like he went to prison, like on drug charges, and like his life was trash, you know. And he's probably one of the best known guys in the Derby community today.
That's pretty cool.
He's got a heck of a testimony.
That's awesome.
I know people that own towing companies. I mean, scrappers, all kinds of.
And that goes back to the biggest misconception of us is we're all.
Yeah, we're all just general people.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have trash along the way, but the good ones will stick out.
That happens with every sport, like you said.
Oh yeah.
So walk us through some of your favorite memories of Derby, whether it's been of you driving or of the friends you've made, or just going to Derbies and watching it. What's a couple of your favorite memories that stick out?
Well, from favorite local memories is Oakley, Kansas, with me and John and Tiny and Michael went up there, and Tiny ran a car. Or Tiny is also Jeremy Lussie, but he went up there and ran a car, and we had 2 days and just pulled the camper up there and just had a good time, cooked out and partaked of a few beverages. I don't condone underage drinking,
but you're not underage though.
No, I'm not underage, but we had a heck of a time. Got in trouble with a golf cart.
That's always fun.
Yeah, I remember that the officer in town pulled me over, and I was with another guy from a local town. He pulled us over. He said, "Where are you guys going? To get beer?" He's like, "Well, it's 2 o'clock in the morning." Yeah, we're thirsty.
We're parched, officer.
Yeah, and he's like, and I told him, I was like, "Officer, with all due respect, you go to that end of town, and I'm going to this end of town." Well, I will, but the other officers don't like that. So we drove down like 4 blocks of dark alley with no headlights.
Just sneaking around.
Just sneaking through town to go get our beverages.
Felt like you were a kid again, huh?
Oh, I was dumb. It was so dumb.
I'm backtracking here. You said you've been to Blizzard Bash, but you've never drove, right?
No. That's a big caliber. That's a big.
You
gotta have your ducks in the row if you're gonna go play in that arena.
Would you ever consider driving in a show like that?
Yeah, I would. Most definitely. But not a mod car, not something more stock buildish, and I think.
Would you ever run a compact?
Heck yeah.
Because I hear they get it on up there with compacts.
No, compacts get it on. I've seen old compacts. There was a compact car in an old Iron class up there one year.
Really? How'd it do?
It held up pretty good.
And for the people that don't know, I'm sorry I keep doing this to you. We just keep coming across stuff that people might not know. A compact is a front-wheel drive car, and
it's a compact. I mean, it's small. I mean,
I didn't know if there was any.
It's a certain wheelbase. What they consider a compact, I believe.
I got you. I didn't know if there was any special classifications or.
No, they have front-wheel drive compacts, which is a class, I guess, and then have a rear-wheel drive compact.
I got you.
Like a Mustang.
You were watching the episode that I did with Jeremy, the first episode. What'd you think about his Blizzard Bash team that he named? He said it was him, Chavez, Burgess, and Jace Crow. You think those 4 guys could go up there and raise a little hell? Or
I think they could, but they better get their ducks in a row. I mean, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. I mean, well, I know Gerardo's been up there and he's watched it and stuff. So
he's a good dude.
But and Blake, I think he actually ran in it too.
He ran. It was a Capital Carnage.
I got you, but
and they're all good dudes. Don't get me wrong, but you got to have your ducks in a row up there.
I think it'd be a fun show if they showed up with some cars. I don't know how to get into that show or anything, but I hope one day those 4 can figure it out.
It's hard to do now, I guess.
Really?
They'll have the spots open up and they'll do a drawing or a lottery per se, and classes will fill in 10 minutes.
Really?
Literally, virtually, seems like.
What would be your team if you got to go up there and say you wanted to be in a mod class and you were able to take a team up there? Who would you take?
Well, no offense to anybody if I don't mention your name, but for sure I'd take Greg Skinny Elzer, which is probably one of my best all-time friends of all time.
Shout out to Skinny.
Yeah, shout out to Skinny. Definitely take Tiny, Jeremy Lussie. And then it'd be a toss-up between the other 2 friends that I'm really good with, Michael or John.
You think
I'd make them flip a coin over it.
You think y'all be able to go up there and?
Oh, we'd have some fun. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, it's not all about winning, just going out there and making some hits.
I think I've collected one check in my life, derbying.
I haven't collected any.
You ain't missing nothing. It's what you enjoy. You got to do it. You got to do it for you and to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because if you're in it for the money.
Which, I've seen some pictures of when Tiny went up and ran Blizzard Bash and Capital Carnage. It looked like it was so fun with you guys all in the pits. It was an overnight thing. Didn't y'all do a transmission swap or something?
Don't mention that. You can ask Michael. You can ask Tiny. That night was hell.
Well, I hope to have those 2 guys on the show at some point. But
it was rough, but we made the best of it.
That's crazy. Y'all basically repaired the whole car in one freaking night.
We did what we could and put a different transmission in, and with all the protectors on the car, and everything starts bending in the car, and everything's protected up.
It gets a little tight.
It is a nightmare sometimes getting things apart, but you do what you can.
What's the energy like at Blizzard Bash, and how does it differ from, say, like Perryton? Because I get Blizzard Bash is obviously the biggest show in maybe the world, and Perryton just a little podunk show in Texas. But
they each have their place, I've actually had my best times at Blizzard Bash in the pits.
Yeah.
Not in there, not watching the Derby.
Just helping out
just helping out in the atmosphere of the friendships you create over the years. Dude, it's world class.
And you're one guy
Canadian.
You're one guy that I've given like an example to people. Derby guys are nice guys.
Oh,
we're not gonna yell at you for being in our pits. Like, and you're one guy I give an example because every year I see your Snapchat. You're always walking up and
if
either taking pictures or talking to people, and that's like,
you can tell the people that don't want to be bugged per se. They'll put tarps over their car and all this stuff, but
most of them
are stand-up dudes. I mean, I've never met somebody at Blizzard Bash that wouldn't talk to you, wouldn't give you the time of day. They don't know you from nothing,
Yeah.
But they'll all talk to you.
That's one thing Derby guys like to do is talk about their cars.
Oh yeah, and you learn stuff. I mean,
yeah.
You don't directly ask what you're doing. That's kind of a given rule. You don't ask what you've done or what you do.
Yeah, but that's been one of the biggest hurdles I've ran into with this kind of stuff is because I'll have people ask me questions and then I'm like, well, I don't think anybody's going to want to answer that.
Everybody's got their limit on what they're willing to share.
Yeah,
and it might be beneficial to them, and it might not. They just don't want to share it, which is cool.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. It's just these people they'll tell me, oh, ask this, and I'm like, I don't think.
Yeah, there's a fine line there. What you ask and who you ask that.
But overall, pretty much, I think Derby guys will answer dang near. Not all of it, but dang near most of it.
I actually forgot to mention, you asked about one of my favorite times at Blizzard Bash. Some of the craziest stuff I've seen. I think it was Team IFD or I don't remember the exact team. But when you go to move a house, you have all these heavy-duty hydraulic jacks.
Yeah.
And they put this car on top of these jacks and they chain it down each direction. It's a science. I mean, people got this down.
Yeah.
Especially the northern guys, because they do it year-round,
Yeah. It's not like here where there's one or two shows a year.
It's not a crapshoot. Oh, we'll push here, we'll bend here. No. I watched these guys up there at Topeka literally tear a car, derby it, run it in the heat, and tear it down almost to the car. And get these house jacks and push and pull and everything.
Really?
Take motors out, take transmissions out, motor swaps, everything.
In one
in
night?
Just in a couple hours.
Really?
Yeah.
That is insane.
The biggest key, in my opinion, to Blizzard Bash, and you could run and do the best you can do, but if you don't have a pit crew to help you out, you're fighting against yourself. You got to have a pit crew.
Yeah, and it doesn't even. It's nice to have people that know what they're doing, that have derbied or been around derby for a while. But if you get a couple guys in there that don't really know what's going on, just having the extra hands is helpful.
There's places for everybody.
Yeah.
If you're willing to learn.
Willing to sling a sledge.
Yeah.
So would you recommend going to watch Blizzard Bash for, like, say somebody doesn't
go?
They're not into derby and
you're missing out.
It's a good show, huh?
Oh yeah.
And it's over a period of what, 4 days?
4 days. I'm usually there for 5 to 6.
Why is that?
Because I get there a day early, just to kind of hang out, and then usually it's over on a Sunday, and
come back on a Monday.
Yeah, because I've done that. I hate driving back on the Sunday after the Derby because, in my opinion, they start the Derby way too late.
Yeah.
They'll wait until noon to start it.
Really?
On Sunday, and it's not over until 7 or 8 at night.
Dadgum, that would be tough, because it's, what, a 6-hour drive from here to Topeka?
I think our heater went out, dude.
Yeah, it's gotten a little cold. Luckily, we're over the halfway point on this. We're actually on the last page here.
Oh, gosh almighty.
So what are your future plans in Derby? What shows do you want to go run this year, or what cars do you want to build this year?
I'm going to run Oakley in the team show, of course. I think July 24th, 5th. It's a 2-day deal. And then I'm going to run Perryton, because who's coming to Perryton this year to televise it?
Track Shot Live. I actually have that down here.
Track Shot Live.
What is Track Shot Live for the people that don't know?
It's a way to make everybody where they can see the Derby. It's just
what's it on? So like if
It's
say
on
like
a
my
webs-
grandma who doesn't want to go to the Derby and they're like, hey, how can I watch this?
I can't remember the exact website, but it's just a way to televise it. It's a way to get it out there. It's a way to bring attention to derbies, which is awesome. I mean, I think we need our own spot.
Yeah. How do you feel about them coming to Perryton? You excited?
Oh yeah.
I think everybody's like, all right, I got to get my car done. There's
Oh, yeah.
no ifs, ands,
It'll
or
be
buts about
everybody.
it.
It'll be everybody that's ever driven. I think that has a car, has a junker sitting out in the weeds. Hopefully they'll bring it. The more, the better.
Yeah, it'll be a good show for sure.
And
I think.
we got a dang good promoter, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people don't like the promoter.
Yeah, but that's every promoter though.
And it goes back and forth.
Yeah, you'll get these guys over here hate this promoter and these guys hate this promoter, and it'll just sit there and
Well, I'll say this: if you think you can do a better job, step up to the plate.
Yeah, I don't think I could promote a derby. That's too much work.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't be friends with everybody, and you got to do the best you can. But I think Chad Markley is the best promoter we've ever had. I'm not going to mention any names of our previous ones, but I think he's the best.
I'm a fan of Chad. I like him because when you roll through spec, I don't know if he does this with everybody, but obviously I'm a young guy. I don't know what the heck's going on most of the time. But when I pulled through inspection, he actually talked through stuff I missed, stuff that I could have done. He's like, you could have done this and you could have done this, man. That would have made your car way harder than it is.
He's done it to me.
And that's pretty cool when a promoter's willing to do it. I don't know if, like I said, I've never left Perryton.
Right.
But when a promoter's willing to sit down and tell you what you could have done or what you couldn't have done, it's a good feeling. You know what I mean?
Like last year was the first year I ever ran a wagon, my Impala that I built, and I've never had one. And I don't know that much about them, but I've seen a lot of people run them, and I've seen a lot of things.
And there's special rules in there for wagons.
There's very beneficial things that a person can do to the wagon. Well, I ran my heat, and I asked Chad. I pulled him over there, and he kind of gave me some pointers and stuff.
And that's Chad's bread and butter. You watch Blizzard Bash, and you see him on. It's Team Kansas he's on, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him run anything else but.
I'm sure he has.
Wagon.
I'm sure he has. But if he can find them, he's going to trash them.
That's for sure. So we're coming up on the end of the episode, and I think for the last question I got for you, you got to tell us how you got the nickname Redbeard.
Oh my gosh! From one of my best friends. I was I don't remember the year. The first year I went to Blizzard Bash. Troy Tagg was there. I don't know if you know Troy Tagg.
I don't.
He's from California. He runs Cadillacs, and he'll clean house in his Cadillacs. He's made a lot of money on his caddies, and he's got his boys run, and his son-in-law runs, and his daughter's. I think she's running her first derby in a couple of days. But me and Troy Tagg were hanging out at Skinny's camper, and that's the atmosphere we had was awesome. And he started calling me Redbeard. I'm like, Redbeard? Then obviously I got a red beard, and it was way long. It was all nappy and stuff, and not taken care of. And I didn't like it at first, but I was like, hey, it sticks. Everybody's got a nickname. You get it somehow. And it's stuck, dude.
Yeah, that's always cool when you can get a nickname from somebody. You don't have to give it to yourself.
Especially
Derby Dallas over here.
And that was a friendship I made.
Yeah.
That was somebody that is pretty well established in the Derby community.
Yeah.
And I just started talking to him, picking his brain, and that's how you learn.
Yeah.
That's how you meet people.
Before I let you go here, explain what this is exactly.
This is a truss, I guess what they call a truss. It's to stiffen up your rear ends, if that sounds so wrong. But it just ties the tubes to the housing a lot better and makes it a lot more rigid, because them tubes will bend or break or they'll twist in the housing because they're just pressed in there.
And this is a Ford 9-inch, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, then I'm going to look stupid on YouTube here in a second.
That's all good, dude. It's a GM 14-bolt floater.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes that beneficial?
The axles are thicker. The axle shaft's behind you, actually. Bigger axle shafts, bigger splines. The housing's just more beefy. It's a GM. That's the only thing worth running, in my opinion. But I don't know. And it's a floater. You know what they call it?
Nope. Like I said, they're going to be like, what kind of derby guy is this? He doesn't know what any of this stuff is.
It's all good, dude. The weight of the vehicle sits on a bearing, which is out here in the end. And that's what they call a full floater. You can pull the axles out. It's not a C-clip.
Okay.
You know what a C-clip is, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know, dude.
Well, heck, man. That's all I got for this episode. We'll have to do another one sometime. Thanks for being on the show.
I'm down for another one. I got a lot more information, a lot more stories.
I'm gonna have to do more episodes with everybody. I feel like because these little 40-minute episodes with everybody,
I think we ought to get one with everybody together.
I gotta get some more microphones.
yeah. A lot of them are loudmouths, so they shouldn't have to need a microphone for some of them.
Well, yeah, man. Thanks for being on, and thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Driver's Seat Podcast.